So welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Twyla Neely Strite, and I manage the Illinois Green Schools project with my colleague Miranda Wright. We're so glad to have you join us today for our 2026 Illinois Green Schools celebration. And just so you know, we are recording this event, so we'll share a link out to watch or share with others afterwards, sometime next week, probably. And you're all muted. And a note to anyone who is on our presentation list, if you were not able to get a special link from me to present, you can send a chat to the Illinois Green Alliance account, and we can help you get permission to unmute yourself. Or if you're up next and you're not able to come off mute, do a little raise your hand feature in Zoom, and we will try to help you out that way as well. So let's get started. We're here today to celebrate the schools across Illinois that are finding creative and impactful ways to prioritize sustainability across their school cultures, educational programming, and their physical spaces. So during the first half of our event today, we're going to reflect on the amazing work of our Illinois Green Schools Project cohort and hear presentations from our first and second place awardees in the elementary middle school division and the high school division. And then after that, we're going to hear from the Illinois School District being recognized for significant school-wide advancements towards sustainability as the 2026 Green Ribbon Illinois State Awardee. But first, I want to start off just by quickly sharing a bit about our organization and why we're so passionate about sustainability in schools. So at Illinois Green Alliance, the organization that hosts the Illinois Green Schools Project and the Illinois Green Ribbon application, we believe that high-performance sustainable buildings improve health and education outcomes, reduce costs, cut down on pollution, and strengthen local communities and economies. We're a member-driven nonprofit with the goal of bringing together people who believe that better buildings can transform communities and that every person in every community deserves access to healthy, resilient, high-performing buildings. We foster a growing and vibrant green building community by providing programming, advocacy, and education driven by our volunteers and individual members. And our community includes sustainability experts and enthusiasts across building sectors like engineers, architects, designers, researchers, building owners, and operators, construction folks. And these are the types of people that make up our volunteer Green Schools mentor force for the Illinois Green Schools Project. So school campuses have big buildings that can have big impacts on their environments. And the students, staff, and faculty that spend so much of their time in these school buildings can help make them healthier and more environmentally friendly places to work, play, and learn. Illinois Green aims to help facilitate that type of progress through our program, the Illinois Green Schools Project, which is an annual K-12 sustainability action and recognition program. We help educators, students, and school stakeholders take on projects that improve health, efficiency, and environmental impact at their schools. And I just want to take a moment to share some details about this year's cohort and celebrate the amazing steps that all of our schools took towards sustainability this year, because it is not easy and every effort is a good effort. So we had 19 schools sign up for the Illinois Green Schools Project this year, which means that educators, students, and school staff at 19 schools across the state took the initiative to lead sustainability conversations, learning, and advocacy at their schools. Taking these first steps towards sustainability can often be the hardest, so I really want to commend every school that started on the path this year. All of our participating schools started their journey by completing the Stage 1 Sustainability Workbook. This is a 3-chapter resource that guides green teams through a sustainability self-assessment and a building walkthrough aimed at helping each school get a better sense of what steps they're currently taking and identify some areas for improvement. And then these schools use the workbook's project outline to design a project that meets their needs and capacity. And our schools work on those workbooks from the time they join the program in August all the way through January. Along the way and throughout the whole school year, Each green team was assisted by their personally assigned Green Schools mentor. So we connect every IGSP school with a volunteer from Illinois Green's membership that has a professional background in a field like architecture, engineering, construction, and more. And these mentors help the schools work through the sustainability workbook. They help them design realistic and feasible project plans and help project manage throughout the whole school year. We also create fundraising campaigns, and those are spearheaded and supported by our volunteers and members. Those are to help us be able to provide mini grants to cover project costs for those schools. Each school has an opportunity to apply for the IGSP mini grant to fund things like composting service subscriptions, data collection devices, solar-powered charging stations, rain barrels, native plant gardens, climate education resources, and so much more. 16 schools in our cohort submitted their sustainability workbooks, advancing on to stage 2 of the program, where they get to take action on their project outlines. So that means that 16 schools throughout Illinois developed a deeper understanding of their school's relationship to sustainability and took amazing steps to create a concrete plan for reducing their school's impact and took action towards those plans all in 1 year. Those green teams collaborated with their school's students, staff and faculty, community members, school boards, and other schools, and even local policymakers, all to bring their projects to life. And then after about 4 months of taking action, schools that were able to complete all or most of their outlined plans in 1 year then submitted a project report to share out about all of their accomplishments. We had 15 schools submit an end of the year project report to share their accomplishments, and I seriously want to congratulate every single one of you. This is a huge undertaking, and you all smashed it out of the park. And across this year's cohort, 1,963 students between kindergarten and 12th grade were directly involved in the creation and execution of these projects with the help of 118 staff and faculty and 19 professional mentors. They created projects that range from diverting waste through recycling and composting plans to LED lighting retrofits to making building upgrades to ensure that students have access to safe drinking water. We're so proud of our schools for incorporating a diversity of perspectives in their projects. Green teams consisted not only of teachers and students, but also cafeteria, grounds, maintenance, janitorial, and administrative staff. Also local business owners and local experts. And based on school estimates, over 8,500 students, 746 staff and faculty, and over 500 community members will be affected by the impacts of their projects. All of these stories deserve to be celebrated and told as many times as they can be. And whether a school is just dipping their toes into sustainability for the first time or has already begun to ramp up their efforts through school policies or large-scale upgrades, your stories matter, and your stories are also a vital advocacy tool. So that's why we create a 1-page project profile for each of our stage 3 schools. This year's cohort is included in that, and those project profiles will live permanently on our website and also will be mailed out to each school so that they can keep proudly sharing their stories. You can use this QR code to check out our new 2026 IGSP project profiles. I just published them on our website today. And to all the schools in the cohort, be on the lookout for your hard copies to be in the mail next week, along with your certificates of accomplishment. And now it's finally time to hear from our 2025-26 IGSP Project Award winners. So all of our submitted project reports were reviewed by a panel of local volunteers who have expertise in sustainability. Thank you to all of you who gave your time and wisdom to help us review these projects. As we go along through the presentations, I want to again welcome everyone in the chat to share comments and enthusiasm for our presenters. And if anyone has any questions for our presenters, please feel free to add them to the chat and I'll try to read them out to the presenters. So first, I'm excited to call to the virtual stage The second place awardee in the elementary and middle school division, Elmwood Elementary School. So Julie, if you're able to come off mute and put your camera on, we would love for you to share a little bit about your school's project.
Good afternoon. My name is Julie Zillner. I lead the Earth Club and the STEAM Club at Elmwood Elementary in Zion, Illinois. We decided to do a waste management project this year. It was called Young Environmental Leaders, a student-led waste reduction project for grades 3 to 5. Our school has about 233 students. We're in Zion, Illinois. We serve grades 3 to 5. Our green team got involved through the clubs that I lead. It included students from Earth Club and STEAM Club. We started off by doing our audit, obviously, and all of the steps in the workbook. And we thought that waste management was the best place to start for our school. And our school district ended up getting recycling bins before our project was over, so we decided to end up getting signs. So to do that, we would do these recycling bin inspections and waste audits, and then we decided that people were not recycling carefully, and we decided to make signs. So we investigated these recycling habits, and our findings supported clearer recycling education for students and staff. So we researched, how are we going to make recycling more efficient at Elmwood Elementary? We had various lessons and brainstormed ideas. We did several phases of sign designing too, to make sure people know what goes into our recycling bins and things that can't go in. We also talked about making sure things are clean that go into our recycling bins so we don't contaminate recyclables. Um, Our goals were to reduce recycling contamination, to help students and staff understand what belongs in recycling bins and what doesn't, to build student leadership through hands-on sustainability work, and to make recycling expectations clearer throughout the school. So for every step of this project, my students did their own research, they did their own designing, they tweaked their designs. It was really a fun process. It was hands-on and everybody learned a lot. I led it. We got a lot of support from staff, our principals, and the Illinois Green Schools Project. My students speak on this slide if you want to press the button.
I like helping our school protect the environment. My favorite part was labeling the recycling bins. Iron contamination affects the thing.
That was the Elmwood Elementary Earth Club and STEAM Club members. Thank you so much. This has been a very fun project. All right, so in our project, we first went ahead and we counted and inspected all of the recycling bins throughout the entire school. And then we did our audits because we wanted to find out what our challenges are and where we could improve. We tried to find common contamination patterns. We learned a lot about the 3 R's and about waste, where it goes after we throw it away, and how we can improve and make a more sustainable future together. Then the students created their sign ideas, and we started to tweak them and put different ideas together to come up with the final versions. We planned our recycling stickers and posters to be placed in high traffic areas, and they have been. So I believe this project helps students become more aware of how their everyday choices affect the environment. They learn that clear signage can help reduce confusion and improve recycling habits. The project also helps students practice leadership, teamwork, observation, problem solving, and communication skills.
Our next steps will be we already got the stickers on and we put the posters up, but we're going to continue our waste audits and we are also going to have, my clubs. I think we're going to make a video and try to teach next year's third graders how to recycle around the first day of school or the first week, so they know how to do it and what goes in. That way everybody also learns about recycling and the 3 R's in general. Then we'll also connect this work with our pollinator garden and composting efforts that we began last year. I would say that this project showed that elementary students can be environmental leaders by studying real recycling habits here at Elmwood and helping create school-wide education. Students made sustainability more visible in our school community. And then here are some highlights of our project. Here was the very beginning in the first picture. Then we had some further designs and then our final design. So it all came together little by little. We did use Canva for a few different things too in the process. It was hard to put every single photo onto here though. And here's the final products. We have very large signs and then some medium signs in the hallways. That's where a lot of people see them. And then all of the recycling bins have the stickers on them. And so far we've seen some improvement since we've put our signage up. So that means that our project was successful so far, and I hope it continues to succeed. I think it will be a great educational leadership project for my club members next year to teach our incoming third graders how to recycle at Elmwood.
Amazing. Thank you, Julie. And am I right in thinking you have some students with you here?
I have one student. My other one had to go. I invited all of the students in the entire school to join us from home, but I think this is a hard time for a lot. This student,
Would your student like to say anything about the project?
can he say hello and be on with us?
Yeah.
Okay, this is D'Angelo.
Hi.
You want to
Hi.
say anything? No. Okay, he was a great leader. He helped put all the stickers on. He was very helpful in the leadership aspect of this. He has a program after school, so he was able to join me in person. My other helper had to go, and she was very helpful in the design process.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. And congratulations on your second place win.
Thank you.
All right, next we are going to move on to the first place elementary school awardee, who unfortunately was not able to make it tonight due to a last minute conflict. But I do still want to take a minute to shout out Whittier Elementary School for their awesome composting project. They have slides here, and I won't be able to do them justice. But I did just want to give them a quick shout out and a very, very brief overview of their project. Whittier is a K through 12 or K through 6th grade elementary school that took on kindergarten and first grade snack time composting. And so they taught their youngest scholars how to properly sort their snack time food scraps and wrappers. They had some assemblies, and they also got the older kids involved in helping collect the compost from the younger students' classrooms. And all of that compost was processed by Waste Not Compost, a local commercial composting company. And their presentation has a few videos that I can play for us as a substitute for getting to hear their full presentation with their team.
Truck, and then they dump it out, and then they make it rot, and they turn into soil.
Yeah, good job. Talk to me and show me what you're doing. Go. What did you do?
Throw it in the compost bin.
Perfect. Oh, those ones have to go in the garbage. Yep, plastic goes in the garbage. Right now, I'm still in charge of making sure, who's putting compost in and who's not, just to check to make sure nothing gets snuck in there. But I do have some helpers. Like some days I have some helpers who can stand by the compost bin and help me out too. So
Does it ever get smelly?
No, because the bin is closed. So
Okay.
since the bin stays closed, it's okay. The bin itself sometimes gets smelly.
Okay.
But otherwise, it stays pretty condensed into the bin.
Okay.
So.
And what classroom is this?
Kindergarten. Mrs. Roberts' kindergarten
Okay,
class.
thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So again, great job, Whittier Elementary. I believe they're planning to or hoping to expand their composting to the whole school in the future, which is really amazing. But we are going to move right on to the high school division, and I'm going to hand the mic to our second place high school award-winning school, which is Whitney Young Magnet High School. And Whitney Young, I was not able to connect with the students who are presenting. I'm hoping you're on the call and that we can help you get unmuted to present. If you are one of the students presenting for Whitney Young, do a little virtual hand raise and we will get you unmuted. Okay, I see Whitney Young in the chat. Awesome. Are you able to put your camera on and speak? If not, we're working on our end to make that happen.
Hello?
Yep.
Oh, can you guys hear us?
Yes.
Can
Perfect.
you see us?
I am in screen share mode, but if someone else in the chat could let us know if we see them, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I
That would
cannot.
be
Oh, we can see you now. Good job.
beautiful.
Great.
Okay, sorry, I'm coming around.
All right, take it away. And feel free to just say next when you want me to move to the next slide for you.
Okay. Okay, so we're Whitney Young, and we did a comparative analysis of the lunch waste reduction when we used share tables to do this. Okay, you can go next.
Good. Yeah. Okay, so we have around 15 members, and we got a $1,000 grant this year. It was amazing. We were able to switch out some underperforming sinks in our school, 4 of them, to waste less water, which was last year's movement. So we're so proud about that.
And then this year we also implemented the share table, which was done to reduce the waste. Since last year we focused on water, this year we focused on waste. And so that's been helpful. And we conducted 2 audits, which showed that we were able to decrease waste by using the share table, and students are already starting to use it. So.
Thank you so much to Evanston, by the way. You guys can go next. Next slide. Yeah. Okay, yes. So like Mary was saying, we're focusing on reducing food waste in school. So we got a little table set up for extra lunches. So if anyone's not eating their food or drinking their liquids. Oh, did we cut out? Okay. We just made it so that everything can be conserved. Do you want to keep talking while I get the video?
Okay, yeah. So then we were able to, so we conducted those 2 audits. The first audit, we kind of just wanted to see a baseline of what was going on in our school as far as waste, because we knew that a lot of the times when people go through the lunch line, they're just given the entire lunch because they're required to give like at least like 1 fruit and like 1 like other thing, so that they have to take those things. And then if people just like want maybe the main course or something and they don't want anything else, then they'll just throw those other things away. So we first conducted that first waste audit in order to just kind of be able to see where we were at as far as waste, and yeah, and get those numbers. And then we implemented our share table. You want to talk about the fridge?
Yes, so we ended up ordering a small fridge to be kept at our school in our science department. So every single day or every couple of days, depending on how much the table is being used, members, specifically leadership, will go to the share table and take anything that can be kind of expired or perishables, all of that, and put them into this fridge that we bought. And yeah, every single week-ish, our sponsor or another member will drive it out to share Love Fridges in Chicago, so we can kind of spread the food and avoid wasting anything.
Which Love Fridges are like fridges throughout Chicago that people can come if they need food. So that's a way to kind of share the food that the kids at our school don't eat, and then go bring it somewhere else where it can be eaten and not wasted.
Yes.
You can go to the next slide.
Do you want to?
Okay. So as part of our waste audit, we took like a baseline survey to see kind of what things people were throwing out the most, like which parts of the lunch they like actually ate and which parts they didn't. Which we saw that a lot of people took like what they liked with good meals like nacho and cheese, and then kind of threw away some of the fruits that didn't look as appetizing. And a lot of the milk was also thrown out too. And then we kind of talked about this earlier already, but and then yeah.
So up above is actually something that we put into the newsletter that gets shared out into our school, and we also put some signs up around the building to let people know that this was happening. So it was a pretty large scale thing for our school. Yes, I think we can go to the next.
Those are just some pictures of us conducting the audit. So we weighed the trash bins before and then after the lunch, and then also counted just how many servings of each component of the meal were being thrown away with that paper that you see in my hand. And then, yeah, those are just some other pictures. One of those is with us meeting with our mentor, Miss Cocola, which we were kind of talking about our plan for that year and, figuring out when we're going to do our second audit.
Yes, it's been very helpful to have her as a resource for our team.
Yes.
Next slide. If there is one. Yes. Do you want to talk about the charts?
So just those charts were kind of just the stuff that the data that we collected with those are the calculations of the pounds of trash, and then also, like I said, doing the tallies for the different servings. And then at the bottom you can see the two graphs of how the bin numbers, those are 4 trash bins that were in the lunchroom, and how those numbers changed from our first to second audit. And then those are also some pictures of all of the stuff that we're already collecting in our fridge, which is good. I mean, it's not the most food ever, but all that food would have been wasted if we didn't step in. And so, yeah, our share table is getting more and more food each day. And I think it started off kind of small, but now it's been able to gain more food. The first picture is from an earlier time, and then the next one we had more food in it. So you can go to the next slide. If there's
yes.
Okay,
okay, thank you guys so much for having us. We were so happy to be able to do this. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Great, guys. Thank you so much for sharing and awesome work. All right, we are going to move on to our first place high school division winner, Evanston Township High School. So Evanston team, if you guys want to go off mute and put your cameras on, we are ready to hear from you.
Hey, thank you so much. I'm Ben.
And I'm Eamon.
Yeah, we're with an organization called E-Town Sunrise. We conducted our waste container right sizing project. Also, like, we did an audit for it. We did it with another student climate group and in collaboration with operations staff too. Amy, do you have anything to
I think
say
that
about it?
pretty
Yeah.
well summarizes it.
Next slide, please. Yeah.
About ETHS. ETHS is a little fun fact we like to say. We're the largest high school under one roof in America. It's usually because a campus of our size has at least one off campus, but we're just all one campus. So for about 1.2 million square feet and a student population of 3,700 and a staff population about 600, we create a lot of trash, and we have a lot of trash cans. So this started really with the ETHS Environmental Sustainability Coordinator, John Crawford. he had actually wanted to do this audit for a while, and he had brought it to the Climate Action Evanston Accelerator in search of student volunteers. And from there, it was picked up by E-Town Sunrise and the Environmental Sustainability Committee. Next, please.
Yeah, so this is our project. And the goal of our audit was to make sure that people weren't having an unnecessary number of like trash receptacles, that being garbage cans and recycling bins. Because we do empty every waste container like every day to make sure that like nothing's like rotting in there. That's pretty important. But
it's a health code.
Yeah, it's a health code thing for us. And we want to make sure that like, well, we're doing that. That's really important. We also want to make sure we're not having too many waste containers. So if a classroom has like 2 or 3 garbage cans, that's like 2 or 3 times the number of garbage cans they need to have. And that's not only is that wasting like trash bags, like that's wasting money, and that's wasting like custodian time and resources. Do you have anything else to say?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so our goal was to make sure that we only had 1 garbage can and 1 recycling bin per room. And we audited every single room in the building to make sure that like everything was going on correctly. And then we changed numbers in case like a place didn't have enough or a place had too many after the audit. Next slide, please.
The actual audit took place, it was the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Me and Ben and a handful of few other student volunteers came in with Mr. John Crawford and an employee from the power plant that actually sits right next to ETHS. We came in and we audited every single room, as Ben said. The audit's primary focus was on waste containers, but we did audit plenty of other things. Everything from like what type of clock, whether it was a system clock or a battery clock, the quality of the floors, the walls, if there's any like against code light fixtures or coverings or anything like that. And our audit revealed that we could eliminate 348 unnecessary trash receptacles, saving ETHS 62,640 trash bags over a 180-day school year. Next slide, please.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we're really happy with the results of the audit. It's taking trash cans out of like garbage bags out of landfill. It's saving us money. It's saving our janitors time. It's awesome. And while we were walking through it, we just thought it would be a little cool to showcase some cool like places at our school, cool views. So we have ETHS basement here, long abandoned, and we also have our school's beautiful central library. So it was just really cool that we got to go through the building and reduce a lot of waste, obviously. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Great job, guys. This is a really cool example of how sometimes it's too much of a good thing. Those are some really awesome impacts, and I think everyone is really impressed. Thank you so much for sharing. And that was the final Illinois Green Schools project showcase of the evening. I urge all of our IGSP schools to continue sharing your stories with your classmates, your colleagues, your families, and your administrations. And next, I'm going to tell you all a little bit about the Illinois Green Ribbon Schools program. And then we'll invite this year's Illinois Green Ribbon State Awardee to inspire our community with what's possible if you really go all in on school sustainability. So the Illinois Green Ribbon Schools program recognizes school districts, schools, and also higher education institutions with active programs, actions, and dedication to sustainability. Originally, this program was founded by the U.S. Department of Education, and it was a public engagement initiative that was structured as a recognition award for school sustainability. It was founded in 2011 and is here to kind of bring attention to and celebrate early learning centers, schools, districts, and post-secondary institutions for their cost-saving, health-promoting, and performance-enhancing sustainability practices on a whole school scale. Applicants to this program work with many faculty and staff members of the school or the district to complete a 20-page application form that highlights their sustainable practices in 3 main areas or pillars. And those pillars are reducing environmental impact and costs, improving the health and wellness of schools, students, and staff. And pillar 3 is providing effective environmental and sustainability education. The state of Illinois has been able to nominate 28 schools since the launch of the program in 2011, and the Illinois Green Alliance is honored to work with the Illinois State Board of Education and Illinois Board of Higher Education to get the word out about the program, receive and review green ribbon applications with volunteers from around the state, and also to help celebrate and spread the word about the honorees. So this year's program looks a little different for the federal program because it is currently on hold by our current administration. But we as a state are excited to continue giving a voice and a face to these amazing schools and highlighting the incredible work you've all done in the name of sustainability. So without further ado, I would like to announce the 2026 Illinois Green Ribbon State Awardee, Glenbrook High School District 225 from Glenview, Illinois. Take it away.
Good afternoon, all, and thank you so much for joining us for this important recognition. My name is RJ Gravel. I'm the very proud superintendent of Glenbrook High School District 225. For those of you who might not be familiar where Glenbrook is located, we are about 15 minutes from O'Hare Airport. We're fortunate to have about 5,000 students across 2 comprehensive high schools, Glenbrook North and Glenbrook South. And one of the challenges that we and so many have faced is recognizing that moving forward in the effort of green initiatives does require resources in order to support that transformation and those modernizations. And as we were exploring different projects, we recognized that our resources are finite and we needed to find some additional sources to support those initiatives. Lo and behold is a project that we're really excited to talk about, which led to this recognition from the Green Ribbon Alliance. We'll go ahead and go on to the next slide at this point. A lot of people ask, what is the bottom line? How do you actually move forward with these initiatives and also find funding at the same time? Well, I'm proud to introduce how we leverage what's called a guaranteed energy savings contract, or really an opportunity where we go out and we ask professionals across the industry. So these are energy professionals, sustainability professionals, architects, energy experts, and we ask them, hey, what are different solutions that are being used not only in educational experiences and situations, but also across not-for-profit and commercial environments? And what we learned was you can pair 2 items together and actually not only decrease your reliance on the grid, but also generate ongoing revenue. And those 2 pieces that came together for us, and you see them here in the images to your right, are what are known as, we call them battery packs, but technically they're energy storage solutions, and solar panels. So what we did is we said, all right, if we purchase a large battery pack and we place them near our campus, we're able to tie in a connection to solar panels on roofs where there's accessible, underutilized space right now, and actually create a package that leads to us supporting that grid, not only for our own operations, but for our community. Let's travel on to the next slide and talk about the first part of the solution. I mentioned we started with these battery packs, and the battery packs are from a well-known company, Tesla. And the concept here is that you place these large battery packs in areas that are safe and appropriate for their placement. We certainly worked with, in suburban Cook County work, it's our intermediate service center, or for other areas, it would be your regional office of education. We identified locations that were appropriate. And with the support of our architects and a service associate, We place these batteries, which are intended to connect to the power grid, just like anything else in your school. But what they do is they slowly charge and discharge all throughout the day. And the concept we're doing here is we're charging them really when the power is cheap. So think of those times when demand on a grid is the lowest, which is kind of after school into the evening hours. And then when the grid needs that support, we discharge that back, and we actually get paid through the different grid operators, as well as Commonwealth Edison, which in Northern Illinois is our power provider for delivery and service. They need that power, so they pay you for it. And so you kind of serve as this miniature power plant. Another benefit that you get is when you have these batteries that ultimately serve as a power source, when you have those really demand days, think of the most difficult times of the summer when heat in our area rises to 90 degrees or greater Fahrenheit, and we need more power to actually support our operations. Well, these batteries serve as part of that power source, so we don't need to rely on the grid as much. And for those who are familiar with how electrical bills, especially on the commercial side, are calculated, Commonwealth Edison or your provider is always looking at those peak demand days to measure ultimately the rates that you're going to pay. By having those batteries, we're able to use the grid less, and that ultimately changes and decreases our kilowatt hour costs throughout the entire year. Transitioning to the next slide, the other part of this solution are solar panels. And I don't think I need to go too much into detail here, but we know that solar panels allow us not to utilize necessarily power from the grid, or at least not as much power, but we utilize it as a supplemental energy source. So directly offsetting our consumption. Here's a key concept though. When we worked with our service associate, our industry partner, what we learned was when you incorporate solar and these battery packs, you actually open up the door to a tremendous amount of federal and state incentives. We'll just call them rebates for lack of better terms. And that allows this solution to ultimately pay itself back in record time. How quick, you might be wondering? Let's go to the next slide and take a look. For a financial consideration, if we talk about ROI, our investment was about $10 million, $9.6 million if you want to be exact. And that was for 3 batteries and a collection of those solar panels that were previously described. Our ROI on that is about 5 years. So we'll make the initial investment, or we made the initial investment, and it'll be fully repaid in 5 years. Once it's fully repaid, the school district will earn approximately $200,000 to $250,000 per battery pack per year. And so the natural question then might be, well, how long are the batteries going to be good for? They've already been used for 5 years. And we sometimes think of a smaller battery pack, such as our phones, that can quickly degrade, or even electric vehicles where we're still not exactly sure how long the batteries are. Well, the ones that we've selected, that we've installed, have warranties of 10 to 15 years. And so this concept of $200,000 to $250,000 per battery pack per year could continue for another 10 years. Now, just imagine if you were told that you could support a new academic program in your school. Let's say you want to improve intervention services for newcomer students. If you could do that by placing a battery or 2 at different parts of your facilities that are currently underutilized, and you could support that FTE, those ongoing costs, just by placing them, the natural question is, wouldn't you do it? Seems like a great proposition to support whatever it is that your district needs, especially in today's reality of finite resources. So our project was all about identifying a solution that could lead to a new revenue stream, that could support our sustainability environment, but most importantly, that could support future programming, things that we had ideas of, but we couldn't find the resources to support it. And I'll give you a great example before I show you how it also connects to the curriculum. Just 3 years ago, we implemented a school-based health center, another part of this year's recognition. And it was an important concept. It was recognizing that students and staff need access to healthcare. And even though you might have a proximal access with a hospital nearby, getting an appointment can be really difficult. Well, we added one of those health centers in, and for the first time this year, not one student was excluded on October 15th due to immunization or physical requirements not being met. So we were wondering, how can we make this better? And so utilizing resources that we're talking about right here through the solution, we actually are opening up a brand new health center at our other high school, decreasing the need to travel between buildings, but most importantly, making access to health and mental health care even more convenient for students, making sure that access and times are not barriers. I've talked a lot about the ROI. I've talked about the financial considerations. The last slide also brings it really home. When we do these initiatives, these are opportunities that we can put in our students' minds for what is possible after high school, right? We brought this initiative to our Board of Education. We shared it with our community, but we thought we could do so much more. So we brought it directly to our students in our classrooms. We met with teachers that teach environmental biology. We met with teachers in the different CTE areas related to manufacturing and business management. And we said, hey, look at what we're doing. And I got to tell you, the students' responses were amazing. The first thing they started doing was a true constructivist approach to education. They connected what their parents are doing at home with solar on their roof to what we were doing in school. And another student who was looking at entrepreneurship as a career, they're like, oh my gosh, as long as you have the capital to pay for this, you can have ongoing revenue sources. Just think of any business that could benefit from that. And they started to see the realities and the possibilities. So this project, again, started as trying to improve our sustainability efforts, turned into recognizing sustainability has resources that you have to have in order to support those projects. We partnered with Convergence Energy. We learned about state and federal credits. And now we have a solution that will be fully paid for in 5 years and will lead to sustainable, not only energy, but sustainable revenue to support student programs in the future to keep making our schools even healthier and even better each day. That's our solution. I encourage everyone who's on our call today or who watches this later, if you're interested in coming to see this, reach out to myself, reach out to our amazing Director of Operations, Dr. Kim Patak, our incoming Assistant Superintendent of Operations and Student Experiences, Mrs. Lauren Bonner. We would be welcome all of you and your students and your board members to see the solution in action. And just ask yourself, what would you do with just one battery and $200,000 in ongoing revenue? How would you use that to support students? Thank you so much on behalf of the Board of Education and our school district. And we are very proud of this recognition and can't wait to continue learning more, especially with what we learned from some of our students here today.
Thank you so much for sharing and congratulations to your school district. It looks like we have somebody in the audience who has a question. I don't know if I can, I guess, okay, I think I can make you be allowed to talk for a minute, John. If RJ, do you have time for a question?
Let's go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna click allow to talk, John.
Hi, John.
Hey, how are you? RJ, you're an awesome speaker. Congrats
Thank
to
you
your
so much. You're very
school.
kind.
You spoke well at the Peoria IASBO conference, so I have to say that as well. So I know your voice twice now. I'd love to see what you do. You're so passionate. It's obvious, and that's exciting. You're engaging the kids, and that's the biggest thing. Your STEM, your STEAM, your CTE programs, it all ties in with your building sustainability. So congrats to you. What a way to start your weekend for Memorial Day. That's it. Love to connect. I will send you an email and love to visit.
Absolutely. Everyone else follow in line and share this great opportunity because just imagine how many students we can impact throughout this great state.
Thanks, guys. And I will include the contact information for Glenbrook in our follow-up email if anyone wants to get in touch with them. So yeah, great example of the ways that sustainability can be profitable for our schools in terms of finances and education and everything in between. So I want to close this out with a few thank yous to some of the amazing supporters of the Illinois Green Schools Project. First, I want to say a sincere thank you to all of our mentors that contributed to the program this year. These folks volunteered to assist a school throughout the entire 25-26 school year, which is an amazing volunteer, a really amazing thing to do. So thank you all for this. Having access to a building sustainability enthusiast with professional experience in architecture, engineering, project management, and more is a major asset to every school green team. And seriously, thank you all. You are amazing. And don't worry, guys, these windows are triple paned, so we're good there. I also want to thank our sustaining sponsors who support Illinois Green Alliance's education, policy, and community engagement work throughout the year. And our leadership circle members who, along with more than 200 individual donors, made generous contributions to Illinois Green Alliance. And that's what makes this work possible. Your donations provided educators and school staff with the Green Classroom Professional Certificate course, funded mini grants for our schools to purchase materials, recycling bins, plants, drainage rocks, all sorts of things. And we can't thank you enough for helping to provide schools with those tools and ensure that our sustainability projects have lasting impact. And lastly, I want to thank the Illinois Green Alliance Auxiliary Board for their incredible work spreading the word about our program and leading amazing fundraising efforts, including a trivia night that they hosted last night to raise funds for the program. I'm so appreciative, and your enthusiasm is really inspiring, and I really appreciate it. So I want to end with, this is a QR code for anyone who might know a school in their area or have connections to a school that they think might be ready to think about sustainability. We would love to have your help reaching out to schools and spreading the word about the program. So this QR code leads you to a page where there's a form that you can fill out that requests information from us. We send you some language to help reach out to a school. And as always, I personally am very happy to have conversations with any educator or school representative who's interested in pursuing school sustainability. So you can reach out to me directly, or if there's anyone who has an idea and wants to reach out, I'm all ears. And then I will also note that next year's program will open for school registration on August 10th and close October 9th. And so any school that participated this year, we'd love to have you back. And others, we are always welcoming additional schools to join the program. So thank you all again for joining us and for cheering on our schools this year. Everyone did an amazing job, and we are so excited to just keep the good work going. Thank you, students, all of the students who presented, and you'll all get a follow-up email with a recording of this event, and I will link our project profiles in that email as well. So I hope everyone has a great evening and a great summer to all of our students. All right, have a good one, everybody. Bye.